Well, good evening, everyone. Internet. Tuesday night. Been a bit of a long day at work. Looking forward to playing. Had not really a busy day at work, but just a lot of chats, a lot of emails. These didn't have to do a whole lot of work, but I did have to coordinate stuff. Sadly. Oops. I've already forgotten where I am. Hang on, there's people talking nearby. And I also need to remember what buttons do what in this game. So yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. Where are we? Oh, here's some medicine I probably need. Ooh, yeah, I'm quite low on medicine. So where are we? Zero Dawn. We've learned a bit more about the world. Again, also, stating for posterity, this is not my first time playing. It has been a couple of years since I played, though, so I'm largely doing this playthrough as a little bit of a lore refresher before I do Forbidden West. I'm not going to do Forbidden West like immediately after this, but I do want to tackle it, sometime this year. So what we've learned is we've learned a little bit about the apocalypse. Essentially, a little bit of a Skynet situation. Essentially, robot, machines, military machines, kind of got a little bit out of control and started feeding off the biomass of the planet, which is everything, plants, animals, if it lived, the robots could live off of it, could gather energy off of it, and the robots could also self-replicate through. Nope, not the right button. We've learned a bit of lore. There's the doctor, Elizabeth Sobek, who looks a lot like Aloy, or looked a lot like Aloy. It's been, many years. Dr. Sobek had cooked up something called Project Zero Dawn. In the face of this oncoming apocalypse, it was something that she was going to work on that was not necessarily going to save the world, but save humanity's future. We don't know the exact details of it. Like the governments, the UN, and everything used it as a way to sell to the populace that yes, this is going to save us all, when really all they could do was buy time for her to finish it. But story-wise, lore-wise, we do not yet know exactly what it is. And map, yes, that's right, map is this button. So the next step is to go to, I believe this is where, good location, silence. Undertakes a dangerous mission to infiltrate a secret Eclipse base and crash the cult's focus network. Oh, I do remember a bit of this. Before we get to the site where Zero Dawn was being built, we apparently need to, there is this cult, Eclipse, that has been trying to hunt Aloy down. Why, we do not currently know. But they also seem to be really big on corrupting machines and using the machines for their own nefarious purposes. So that's what I think. Hang on. I'm getting so tangled up on buttons. Right. So for now, I have a very long run. Also, I had an offline follow. Wild Boar Ale 2, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciated. Now, we're awfully close to the Karja capital right now, so it might be a little bit before we see some action. If I run into any machines, I might be able to... might be able to hijack them for a ride. Although it's debatable if riding machines is actually much faster than just running. I am going to stop and pick up all the healing plants I see, because currently my medicine pouch is
Brew that up later.
a bit low. Another one. Bright market? Okay. Now I'm gonna go into town and grab this campfire and then turn south. There are a number of side quests. I'm not really doing the side quests though. I'm more on about the main story in general. Having said that, as I run across tall necks and cauldrons, I'll be doing those. Cauldrons are cool, and I did a number of cauldrons last week.
Keep that for later.
Who do we have here? Chargers. I believe I can override those guys. I do not currently really have stealth gear.
I'm gonna need you.
I don't know if I'm really going to need them, but... let's see. Yep. And I've already forgotten the buttons. Oh, and there's a rabbit. Oh, nope, sawtooth. Okay. I don't really want to fight then. Narrow bridge, maybe stop them? Frustrated them, I think. Yep, okay, cool. I think did I just run over a rabbit? A rat. I've already upgraded all of my inventory bags as far as I can, I believe, so. Watcher sight. Yeah. I can probably run through these guys without much trouble. Maybe. Maybe. So far, so good. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, there's a long leg there. I believe I can One of the cauldrons I did last week, I should be able to override long legs now. I haven't actually tried. But I'm also really not... Oh, shoot. Which direction? It's had me go back this way now. The way, rabbit. Oh, hang on. I just noticed there's a purple thing here. I think those are just collectibles. They don't really...
I guess I can't blame you for that.
Don't really help you out, but I figure it's like, yeah, I'm passing by. I might as well pick them up. Alright, we're getting close. I'm gonna go ahead and leave him there. Oh, there's a random merchant here. I will buy my free sample box from them. Can I buy... Outfits... Okay, I do have the silent, the stealth outfit. That was like the only other outfit I wanted to buy, and it looks like I do have it. Climb the escarpment. That's a word you don't hear very often. Way boar.
There are the handholds, right where you said they'd be. Did you get that, Silence? No? Fitting name you got there.
So yeah, Silence is another guy. We haven't met him really in
Alright, what now?
physically.
Take a seat at the campfire and rest. When night falls, we'll talk.
Well, they still have a fire to keep me company.
He's more a voice that lives, you know, in Aloy's focus here. We have seen a hologram of him a time or two. We don't know a whole lot about him apart from he's very interested in knowledge. He is also trying to learn what happened to the world. And there he is.
How nice of you to finally drop by.
Our purpose this night is to crash the Focus Network.
Yeah, tell me the part I don't know. How?
For starters, you'll need to infiltrate the Eclipse's main base.
Wait, what?
That's right. Fortunately for you, I brought you around to the back way. It's right through that crevice. Once you reach the base, you'll see the objective. A derelict tallneck that's been extensively modified. Climb the tallneck. Grafted into the top of its disk, you'll find a module of sorts. Destroy that, and the Focus Network will crash.
So you were part of the Eclipse.
I've never been part of anything. I serve my own interests, always. But it is the case that I assisted the Eclipse before I sensed the threat they might become. It was a mistake that I'm doing what I can to correct.
What sort of assistance did you give them?
Head through that crevice, Aloy. You have more important things to do than ask questions.
It's also very much a about being conversationally the one in the power. You know what? I am going to take a moment. Oh, hang on. I have skills. I want to upgrade my strike stuff for sure, but I'm also gonna change into my stealth outfit. And I also need to modify it. What do I have? Do I have extra? I only have a basic stealth. This... I don't really know what... Resist fire, resist freeze, resist shock. Generally speaking, resist corruption is good, especially at the higher levels. Oh, hang on. I've got a notification on carry capacity. Oh, I did not have... Oh, ropecaster. I don't really use the ropecaster, so I don't actually care about it all that much. But yeah, everything else is upgraded all the way.
Let's see what's through here. Corrupted machines. Patrol guards.
More like soldiers. Held in reserve for a war yet to come. You'll have to get past them.
This is the easy way in?
The back way. I didn't say it'd be.
Well, corrupted machines are weak to fire, typically. So I'm just going to lay a lot of fire traps.
That wasn't a warning.
Now, the cool thing is, the traps, they don't know where that came from. Okay, that one does. Okay, yep, they see me. Cheese things a little bit. Being in cover. Yeah, okay. Resist corruption was good to have. Alright, that one ought to burn. All right. But okay. Just making sure green stuff I don't necessarily care for all that much, but I want to make sure I get anything and everything that's purple. So I get my ammo back up. Oh, okay. So, corrupted tall neck. Or not tall neck. Long leg. See if I don't need to fight him.
Explosions in the distance.
Pay that no mind. Doesn't concern you.
How do you know, Silence? Corrupted scrapper? Oh, shoot. Okay. Four of them. Same thing as before, just a lot of traps. Let them do most of the talking.
This is where it ends.
Yeah, if they can't get to me, they're... It really confuses them.
Just stay out of their way for now.
Oh, there's one of them that still has his radar. Oh. Back over to the traps in case he lives. Alright, he did not live. Well, I will recollect my traps then. I say that one only needed one hit. I actually got hit.
I'd have to leave something else behind.
Yeah, I know. Just getting whatever stray bits you can.
Getting close now. Head for that ridge. The tall neck's just over this ridge. You will see it when you reach the top. Now be ready to act fast. You need to get in and get it done before they raise an alarm. Here we go.
You getting this? I see the legs of a tall neck down there, but no tall neck.
Damn. The transmitter's been moved. Check down the ravine to the left. Only place it could be.
So much for your insider knowledge. Toward the explosions. Great.
You got exactly one shot at this, Aloy, so spare the sarcasm and make it count. You see that bridge over the ravine?
Yep.
Memorize its location. There's a rappel point on the side. That'll be your way out.
And these Eclipse troopers?
Avoid them or kill them, your choice. The blasting should cover any noise you
When in
make.
doubt, kill.
Find the tall neck and destroy the module on top.
Here we go.
Actually, that was a pretty good sniping spot.
Rabbit is good enough for the rest of us. It's good enough for him. I don't know which is worse. The sweat or the thirst. you bastard!
Oh, shoot. Oh, he's actually lost me. Whoa.
Right back, damn you all!
No, I'm trying to roll back behind cover. Right. I guess that was all of them.
Fighting up ahead?
No. It's a mining operation. So long as you're quick, it won't affect you.
Oh, good. Another secret.
Yeah, I doubt it's as simple as a mining operation. Given that hesitancy.
Full already. That shelter. It's bigger than the others.
Find the Tallneck, Aloy. There's no time to poke around.
There is if I make time.
There's always time to poke around. Oh, there's lots of stuff here. Ceremonial armor?
What is this place?
A distraction.
So long as King
There are several
Itamen languishes at Sunfall, coddled by his mother, he will never learn the true lessons of the sun. I have tried to instruct him, but the shadow of his mother's influence is upon him. I took him to the palace balcony to behold an offering of sacrifice in the ring, but he showed no thirst for it. He averted his gaze. Look to the sun, I told him. Do not shield your eyes. In all things, it is absolute. One day, it nurtures life, and the next, scorches life away. It burns the skin of champions and wretches alike. Never does the sun show pity. That is the example a Sun King must follow. The example of your father. But before my instruction could take hold, she was there, clutching him to her robes, burying his face against her breast. How is a king to rule when he cannot even see?
Is that... Were they talking about Avad, I guess? There's a lot of notes here.
Every morning, I wake to the same nightmare. The same reality. Holy Meridian in the hands of profligates. Debased. The spire, towering above the horizon like a glittering spike through the center of my mind. Every daybreak in exile is a mark of failure, but the count of days runs thin. I will see Meridian retaken, the profligates slaughtered, a true king restored to the Mesa throne. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy.
I have doubts.
When sleep refuses to come, I think of our wedding night. How you welcomed me to the marital bed. How after, when you fell asleep, I lay there watching your delicate face. For all its beauty, I detested its fragility.
Rude! On your wedding night? Holy shit.
Up inside me. I abhorred that bed. How its softness threatened to swallow us up. And that room, the stench of incense, the fine embroidery of the drapes, all of it weak. I slipped from the bed, threw open the casement, and lay naked on the stone floor, determined to spurn all seductions of comfort. But when I woke the next morning, you lay beside me, naked as I in the cold. Your body, stretched beside mine, seemed chiseled from stone. saw you wake, instantly alert, like an animal ready to strike. You said nothing. You did not have to. Already you had shown me beyond doubt that we were meant to be.
Alright. A little more detail than I wanted. Without pity.
Never does the sun show pity. And yet, when my wife died in birthing, and in dying into the life of my child unborn, I pitied myself. My lord sensed this. But instead of casting me down for weakness, he cast upon me a radiant beam of honor. He ordered my kin buried in the sacred caves reserved for royals and heroes. Unimaginable. Never again would I doubt that I am the chosen of the sun. Never again would pity find a place in me. Not for myself or another.
Almost done.
When I first set eyes on the buried shadow, I trembled. Was I not the chosen of the
I think
sun?
Helis is kind of the
Blazing light of faith to shred and scatter darkness? Was it not my place to destroy this devil?
chief of the Eclipse.
But High Priest Bahavas instructed me in the prophecy, and set right my frame of mind. The murder of the true Sun King broke the cosmic cycle short of completion. The whole world cast into darkness, doomed. To resume and turn the wheel of time would require more than sun and faith. All forces must combine, all halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, night to day. Even a buried shadow wants the wheel to turn, for without a sun in the sky, there can be no shadow.
Last one. Meridian's Fall.
My lord, the 13th king of the Karja Sundom was murdered. Cut down by cowards who mistook firm rule for madness.
Well, he was kind of slaughtering all the
strong
tribes.
purpose set upon by the weak. So he said, as the traitors launched their assault, as their cannons forged by Oseram filth toppled the battlements and burst the gates. I would have fought to the end. But it was his will, the will of the sun, that I lead the prince and queen into the west, to safety. My lord did not hesitate. He saw his fate. He looked into the sun, and he did not blink. With me, he sent kestrels, nobles, sun priests, and slaves. Killing all that stood in the way, I carved a path to Sunfall. There, we joined others to gather the strength to take back our home. But our strength only faded, until the buried shadow was brought to light.
Yes, the buried shadow.
He's a fanatic, all right. Single-minded.
It gives him a focus that you seem to lack. Now how about finding that Tallneck?
It would not have been easy to drag the Tallneck down this path. Why bother?
Just find it and
Alert. Irregular transmission source detected.
That must be it. Sure I'm not about to run into people. Yep, there it is. That's the Tallneck.
They've built some kind of structure around it.
climb it. The sooner this is done, the better.
I don't like this. It feels wrong.
Everything here is wrong. Just get to the module and destroy it.
See any sign of people anywhere, so guess I don't actually need the stealth outfit.
I see the module.
Good. Now be quick.
This is Hades?
Aloy, this is not the time.
It's a metal devil.
Open Open the module's casing, now. Aloy, do as I say or all is lost.
Entity has come here. Entity miscalculated. Entity cannot destroy me. I am beyond its reach.
Maybe you are. But this isn't!
Destroy the entity.
Very convenient thing to jump to.
Keep moving or you'll die.
Well, first, change of clothes. Let's see. The Harsha Blazon is kind of general purpose. Whoa, okay, yep, they're...
See? Yeah, you think?
yeah.
Doing, taking a nap?
I'm not exactly sure. Feeling just a little exposed. Whoa! Have a snack while we run.
Trail. Almost out of it.
Maybe.
What?
Don't fight. Keep moving. Run, don't fight.
Well, shit. There's kind of a lot. Okay, fine.
Come on.
Cleft,
Whoa!
the cat.
Got it. Almost there.
The whole base is on high alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much for stealth.
Keep moving. More cliffs across the ravine.
Whoa!
Bridge in sight.
That's the way out.
Yeah,
No.
yep. With my one hit point. Seems to be a trend between Dark Souls and now this. It's like, yeah, you'll make it with one hit point. I suppose one hit point's all you need. Yeah, so that was not at all stealthy, the way I was hoping.
Rough going, but you survived.
You knew Hades was there and you sent me to him?
I won't deny I risked your life, but it was the only way. Now, with the focus network down, we can both get what we want. Access to the secrets of Zero Dawn.
I'm past trusting you with secrets.
Good. That means you're wising up. Trust is for fools. It shifts and crumbles like sand. A poor foundation for any partnership. But mutual self-interest, now that is a solid bedrock upon which you and I might build a new science of understanding. We both need answers, Aloy. And thanks to you, we're on the verge of grasping them. Let's unfold. We'll speak again.
You miserable... Damn him.
Yeah, about my...
This focus and be rid of you, Silence, I would. But we both really need it. Sunfall it is. And Zero Dawn.
Well, and now I'm all out of my meds. Go to Sunfall. Which is way over here. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna do the fast travel thing. Although I am gonna scour a little bit for a little bit of healing plants. I do have med potions too, but I like always having the medicine available. Now it instantly put me next to a bunch of machines. Could be dangerous. That over there.
I'll find a use
Uh-oh.
for you.
Trampler. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and save, so I don't have to do all that stuff again. If I can get to the grass. These guys might fight each other. I just kind of want... They actually fight each other? They will. Okay. Let's see. That over there. Looks like a long leg. Trampler's there. Oh, wait. See some meds over here. Oh, that was fire root. Full-on long leg sight. Shoot. Long leg and sawtooths, looks like. I believe I can override long legs. I have not yet. Yep, okay. I think this is my first long leg. Hey there, Amorphous. Welcome in. How you doing tonight? It's been very quiet in here. Tonight, it's a bit of a long day at work, so I'm just relaxing here. How you doing tonight? I hope all is well.
Let's get this over with.
I'm trying to lure these guys over to my friend here, so you'll start fighting. There they go. came from work, tired, hungry, etc., etc. Yep. I know that feeling. Oh, can I actually over... Oh, yeah! I got an override on a sawtooth as well. That'll make this fight a little more even-handed. Oh, shoot, there's tramplers in the mix now, too? It'll take you a while before you get comfortable. Right in the eye socket. It's a good spot. This is where I like to get to in this game, is, you know, to where I'm not even really having to fight much. I can just kind of use the machines against each other. Oh, there's also people around here. I don't know if they're friendly or not. I don't even know what they're doing to each other, but they're definitely hurting each other. Those people are distracting. Oh, there's tall. Oh, that's tall neck. I've already gotten that tall neck before. Let's see. I'm going ahead and going for it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get to him in time.
She got a bear in her.
Be careful. Oh, that'll work. Almost worked. There we go. Whole lot of machines there. And these guys, I guess, are just regular charge of soldiers. So I don't have to worry about fighting them, too.
That's it. I'm made for war, not chasing rats.
Pick up anything useful. Oh, nope, that's fire root. Alright, now on to... Exactly, back to business. Back to the main thing. Save a campfire first. Is that red plant? That's, yep, that red plant.
I'll tuck that away.
Sunfall. The Mad King Duran's summer palace. A bulwark of Carja might against the howling Forbidden West.
Thanks for the history lesson.
But they have no idea what lies beneath.
Oh.
We'll learn much from this Aloy.
That's what I'm hoping.
So I guess the Forbidden West, the sequel, takes place beyond that, out over here. And again, not doing side quests. Put on the main thing. Go to the Citadel Courtyard. I'll grab my free bonus box from the merchant.
The subway.
It's not like this in Meridian. Everyone's
I'm sure it wasn't.
Well, looks like the machine is pretty solidly winning against those guys. Oh, they're back up. All right, well, on to the main.
Now we get to see if your attack on their focus network was entirely successful. Success. Welcome to the Citadel, Aloy.
Okay, just to reminisce
I'll check
about
back
radio.
with you in a moment.
Yes,
In the meantime, circulate.
I suppose it's
Outlanders, you
Circulate.
want to hear about today's bounties, head for the throne room. You're not going to make any shards by standing out here.
Hey, oh, we all running? Okay, well, here. I'll race you.
I'll take the shards, even if it means having to listen to Bahavas.
I hear the Shadow Panthers are looking for one of their own. Should pay well.
By the glory of the sun,
Ridiculous headgear
revealed.
continues.
Behold, radiant Edaman, the one true Sun King, the light in shadow, whose will is light and whose light is law.
I command Lucius Bahavas to speak in my behalf.
Oh, this was the kid that
By the will
Elis
of
was talking
radiant
about, I
Edaman
guess.
does the sun glare down mercilessly upon the traitor Uthid. To the hunter who brings his head to us shall go a bounty of 500 shards.
More prisoners than royalty, don't you think? Love your hair. You and I need to chat, little huntress. The green tent down in Shadowside. I'll be waiting.
kind of busy.
will make it worth your while.
We both know you're no killer for hire. Uthid is innocent. So come see me while there's still time to save him.
So, the way in I spoke of is right behind you.
You've got to be kidding.
Not at all. And you needn't worry about the Kestrels. They'll be too busy acting important to pay attention to you.
First time in the Citadel's, gotta see the Sun Ring from on.
Ah, okay, that was a side quest that... Actually, wait, was it a side quest? Because sometimes... Okay, it is a side quest. Because sometimes it'll...
Makes quite an impression.
Pretty uneasy.
The balustrade.
It'll have multiple names. Oh, okay. This looks like this. Or not. Okay, I was wrong. Is there any way I can go that will not immediately kill me?
The other side of the tower. Look for a vent.
Wait a minute.
I see you've been here before.
Oh, did that accidentally...
No. It's
Okay.
very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence.
Yeah,
Nice
fuck
to
you.
go along for the ride.
I wish I had more medicine, but I'm gonna... I'll have these at the ready, so... remember exactly what's down here.
I'm heading down.
I know this isn't point of no return for the whole game, though.
Secrets of this world, where the machines came from, how the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure, as year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Maybe.
For identiscan. Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Malfunction. 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 Malfunction.
Are you kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Sobek here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this door!
Yeah, the machines thinks that she's Elizabeth Sobek.
Due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
I underestimated you. So by now,
Guess you can't have everything.
that will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
Alright.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to scan here, it looks like. The incident. This morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of Reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project. As a staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators, fluent in Polish, for example, security staff who can subdue enraged embryologists, for example, and dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well-behaved, but we need help handling the exceptions. Didn't tell us a whole lot. Hey, Cloud Strife. Welcome in. How you doing? Yeah, Zero Dawn. I've been playing this a little bit on Tuesdays. I have played before, but it's been several years. And I have not yet played the sequel. I have it. But, you know, like the rest of the world, I got distracted by Elden Ring when it came out. So before I pick up before I play Forbidden West, I wanted a little refresher on Zero Dawn. I've forgotten a lot of it. I remember the overarching main story. There's little bits here and there that I'm a little rusty on. Need support too. Oops. Didn't mean to jump. And honestly, I was just kind of in the mood for the play style of it. You know, when I started playing.
Beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
Beverages and snacks, woo! Yeah, I have heard Netflix, isn't it? I think I heard something that it might not be so much about Aloy as it might be about the actual fall of civilization. Okay, a lot of reading data points.
Should have brought a cart.
And that's nothing. Which will be interesting to see, although for me, when I played this the first time, part of the appeal was the mystery of finding out how the world got to this place.
Into viewing room 1 for an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
And supposedly Aloy will make an appearance, but like I said, it's not focused on her. Yeah, so I'm guessing we'll probably see a lot more about maybe Elizabeth Sobek instead of necessarily Aloy, if I had to guess. So.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Oh. Movie time.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them, and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program, and it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down, the entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating, waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day, the day that life on Earth ceases to exist, is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
I say, yeah, this is the big story. Or do we need to go farther in to get to Sobek's? I guess we need to go farther in.
Doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
That was the bad news.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
Yep, we'll get there in a minute. Every other Apocalypse movie always starts afterwards. Makes you wonder, how did the whole infection start, which I love. Don't know how I feel about the way they're doing it here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like one of the things that I really appreciated about this story was a lot of other Apocalypse movies, it's very simple. It's like, oh, nuclear war happened. Or like the Terminator movies, robots became sentient, wiped us out. Well, not necessarily wiped us out, but there's an ongoing war. This is somewhat close to Terminator, but it also takes it much further in terms of annihilation of like all biomass on the Earth. What really struck me about this game was how much writing they had to do to take it beyond just, well, robots became sentient and that was it. And hey, here we are now. It's like, there's, I mean, short version, yeah, that's kind of it. but there's a lot more nuance to it, which I really appreciated. And, you know, like the lore of what Zero Dawn is and was. So Terminator was fine with 2 movies, then they released a handful more. Yeah. They keep trying with that one, but it's like, yeah, Terminator, the way they were originally done, it doesn't feel like it's a deep enough well to sustain, you know, that many stabs at the lore. That's not to say they couldn't do it. They probably could, but
Kestrels. They got in through the vents.
28 stab wounds. Spread out. If it moves, kill it.
What is this place? Tomb?
okay, hang on. We got guys to kill. Hey, you there. I will not scan these data points just yet. 28 stab wound, yes. I arguably don't need all 3 arrows to kill these guys. I just want to make sure. Oh shoot, that did, like, not much. Okay. Yeah, alright, that's fine. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna come back here. Whoa.
Let this strike upon the fortress.
We're too close to let
There we go.
to stop us now. The data points, what did they contain?
Stuff. Give me a second to loot the dead guys there. Silence. Let's see. What do we have?
It is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people, they feed off them?
Not
They're
just
hungry.
people, all organic matter.
Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life produced some bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor.
Please, tell him Tom Pate wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please! You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
We get to the radio play portion of the game. Yeah, this is on PS5. I don't think that they did anything for... I think I heard, like, maybe they unlocked the frame rate for PS5, but otherwise they didn't do any upgrades to it.
Want to discuss? Whew. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, it was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malkeet was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sober
I beg your pardon?
an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place? You know, blood coffee?
He did.
Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed.
I'm not clear. I'm not certain he knows the other slang of it. Not upscaled at all. I don't know. At the time, they were, I think, much more focused on getting Forbidden West out the door, and Forbidden West, I think, was originally going to be a PS5 exclusive. No, I don't think it was going to be an exclusive. They did something, though, where initially, if you bought the PS4 version and then got a PS5, you would have to buy the PS5 version. There was a bit of an outcry about that, and they changed it to where if you got the PS4 version, you would get a free PS5 upgrade. So that's about all I know. As far as, you know, Zero Dawn is concerned, I'm not sure they did anything. Load times are great, though. I'll say that.
You previously worked for Faro Automated Systems.
On the Chariot Line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
Ah, was he in charge of the Faro machines? You know, like a proud father. It's like, oh, the machines, they're doing all this stuff, this cool stuff now. And then, of course, realizing after the fact, whoopsie. Every other game does PS5 upgrades, so why they said, yeah, I don't know.
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since '57? That went nowhere real slow, and you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking
It's not a
lot of
ship.
bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
By doing the DLC, that's the idea. Now, I have not done the DLC for this, Frozen Wilds. I started it a long time ago, but I never did finish it. And I think I only got like an hour into it, so. And I honestly don't really remember anything of it. Wait a minute.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of why we brought you here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
Oh,
When it came
sounds like
to
someone
my
was woken up in the middle of the night.
It was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan Project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Harris said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
I'll be getting to that in a big video in a little bit, I think. Okay, that's just a text thing. Not reading every text, but I do like the audio
Suzanne
things.
Alford, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said, not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
Well, let's go right through the door and find out.
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs.
How are they going to build all that before a year is up? I don't know.
How it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
Always people that have nonsensical plans always have. It's like, well,
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
ambitious isn't quite the word. You know, what's beyond ambitious? You know?
Why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the Archive of Knowledge, what happened to that?
As I say,
confused as you are.
It partially worked.
Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Pieces of it worked. You know, life is back. The robots aren't destroying everything. But it takes them 4 years just to build a factory. They're trying to build a whole city. Yeah, a city underground, no less. Yeah. Brad Andek. Oh, this was the guy who had done the AI.
To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. It's just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom. I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work
It's
hard, twice
kind of
as hard
typical, honestly.
for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
Well, that's your own perspective, you know.
If you're still nauseous.
It's just practicality at this point.
The inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No. Life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes
Nobody tell
back.
Jeff Goldblum.
Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timo. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock? You grow old together with your loved ones in safety. I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family? I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years. I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words. I'm sorry. Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over. I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
Mm-hmm. You can contribute, or you can kill yourself. Or, presumably, just leave, which would be the same as killing yourself, effectively.
For your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my old man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. He's kind of blue skying. It's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What are you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
This is the other option, I suppose. Oh, there's something over here. Also... What? Know what that is. Something purple over here, though. Stranded shackles? Not sure what that is. Unless it's part of the ancient armor. Which I'm also not really worrying about collecting that stuff. I suppose I don't really need to be sneaking.
Intruder! Get her!
Oh shit.
Whatever you do, don't die now.
I'll try not. Oh shoot. I can't see. You know what? It sure is a good thing that these guys, who clearly know where I am, aren't going to move. Or do much of anything.
Power's down.
Is there another route?
I've done this before. Just need my focus.
Alright, guns. So, hang on. Right, that's right. This is the power. Or the door that needs power. The mushrooms. Okay.
Here we go. Another one of these. Need to find the right configuration.
Okay. Well, listen to this while we puzzle.
I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me.
There's a part missing.
Parker out.
Maybe there's a storage area nearby.
So everything's backwards? Hang on, wait a minute. Ah, mushrooms, okay. So, let's see. If things are backwards, oops, wrong button. Let's see. Okay. Not actually backwards, I guess. Unless I'm reading this all wrong. Or he only installed the one on the other side backwards.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
The door... Oh, ladder.
Found one. Looks intact.
Plug it in and then dial things backwards on this wall, I think.
Now let's get that door open.
Let's see. And down, I think. Or... Oh, no, I see. It's not backward. It's... The whole panel is upside down, which means this... Wait. Actually, I think that actually is right. Partially right. This one would be wrong. This one would be up. This one would be opposite.
That did it. Door
All
should
right.
have power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Oh. Well, I was gonna try and take that gun with me, but oh well.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
Beat. And the door is locked behind me, so I can't actually.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that wasn't particularly good. Did the rolling help? Oh. There's more come down.
Needed that.
Find some cover, fool!
You up there. I can't really see. I think. Yep. Okay.
That's the last of them.
Repeat.
Or not.
Oh, shoot. Whoa, 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 whoa.
You will perish.
Hey, I see you've got a gun.
I lost her.
Oh, he's obstructed. Whoa! This guy just dropped a perfectly good gun.
Room's clear. For a
There we
moment
go.
Anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
No, I didn't want the gun at the moment. I wanted to search and loot.
Can't carry more.
Yeah, I'm pretty full. Hey, what's that? Oh, thug. You know, just on the off chance, can I take this into the next room with me? Actually, there's stuff up there. I'm not sure how to get up there. There's probably a grab point somewhere.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In
AI putting us all out of
simulation, she's doing
jobs.
some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, the Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
Say that's the trick. It's a cool idea in theory. In practice, it's like, well, what keeps systems like this running on the rails, though? How do you know Gaia is not going to create something?
Before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
You know, wildly beyond what it's supposed to. Because by that point, you know, humanity is presumably long dead, waiting for rebirth. A lot of ifs. Oh, this is the upstairs. Okay.
No room.
Room. Yep.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way in some... More Eclipse.
Careful now.
Ooh, lots of them this time.
All of this lost. The Ancients' greatest gift to us.
Greatest? How about the fact we exist at all?
To abide in ignorance is a curse, Aloy. You of all people should know that.
Guess I'm just walking past them for now. Biddy down here? It's over there. Another projector.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations.
Quiet, please. We've got bad guys over here.
I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180
Yeah, that's right. It's not in the year they had left. It's not about just building one facility underground.
English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Yeah, except Apollo didn't actually take flight, apparently. I guess I do need to do these guys. Oh, what's this? Apollo update. This one might be worth. Basically that it's going well, apparently. Say, can't do anything there. I guess I've got to clear these guys out. Yeah, the more I can do with stealth, the better, generally speaking. Wait a minute. Let's pass something. Oh.
sabotage you in that way.
Shit. Oops. They are aware. Can I do this part? Perfect stealth. Doubtful, but although there's only 3 guys left. This guy's way off on his own. There's a ladder up to this guy. See, okay, the other one's over there.
Calm.
Okay, he's an elite. They're both elites. Aloy, why are you not going up? Okay, fine. You don't want to go up? Strike was just a precaution in case the arrows didn't.
That's the last of them. Alone once more.
Convenient line of sight.
Should have been a cave of wonders.
All right. Nope, nope, nope. Exactly sure how to get over there. Oh, that works.
Probably going to need it.
Alright, I think that is all the obvious pickups.
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's Extinction Failsafe Protocol. The ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine your Gaia 200 years from now and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing. Coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. A spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocating. But you get the idea.
Slightly better wording, because I was going to say the effects on the atmosphere, but
blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades.
yeah.
Welcome to the void.
I mean, I get it. I get the need for it,
If
but
that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan?
did they need to get a guy that was gung ho about it?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
Complaints. Hades Protocol, should probably read this one. Tate here, just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. That ain't worth 10 to 20 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard, it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control. But by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business. So, had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for wear. Hey, Jeff. Well, welcome in. How you doing tonight? I checked you out. You were in your stream earlier. Did you finish Xenogears? Hang on, let me do the shout out thing. What's been this one?
Oh my god. That's really bad. We might be dead here.
Maybe.
Surprisingly, that didn't do as much damage as I would have thought.
Yeah, welcome in, Jeff. How are you doing? I'm as you can see, currently going through Horizon. We're in the big Gaia Hades lore dump now, so a lot of watching, a lot of listening. People keep asking me, "Did you beat Xenogears?" Well, when I tuned in earlier, again, I don't know much of anything about the story or anything. It sounded like, something was winding down. Like maybe you had just beaten the big bad or something, but unless maybe that was just a minor battle or something. I don't know. But anyway, hope you had a good stream. Yeah, we're doing the Hades and Gaia tour at the moment. We're so far from the end, just because there's a big lore dump. There's another big lore dump. That's the Xenogears way. Okay. So you're in it for the long haul, sounds like. Well, welcome in. And anyone who maybe doesn't know me, I'm part of Jeff's Guild Wars 1 crew. There's at least 20 hours left. Oh man. maybe 30 to 40. Oh, wow. So this is a big one. Super big. Yeah, I'm usually one of Jeff's Guild Wars 1 crew. I myself am taking a short break from Guild Wars 1, the Guild Wars 1 Iron Man thing, for a little bit. I'll be getting back to it in time. And in the meantime, I'm playing variety stuff. I usually play variety stuff on Saturdays and Tuesday nights as I'm able to. But usually Sundays have been Guild Wars, except for when I'm taking a break, like right now. Lately, my thing is I've been playing Dark Souls on Saturdays, Horizon Zero Dawn on Tuesday nights. Mostly a blitzing storyline kind of a thing, although I do get distracted by Tall Necks and Cauldrons, so... You're 40 hours in at the moment, and maybe 30 to 40 hours left. Damn. Although, I feel like when I played Final Fantasy 1, way back, I get the feeling that it probably took me about that long to do that. Now, granted, you know, some of it was grinding, you know, experience, but still, I remember that game being very long. I couldn't tell you how long though. It's a big ass game. Big ass game. Well, yeah, we just here in wait a minute, what's... Did I not?
Looks like the onwards.
That's the holo projector that I was at before. Okay. That we just learned about Hades. Final Fantasy 1 is about 25 hours? Oh, well then either my memory is off or I did it all wrong. Usually how long it takes you to do a casual enjoyment playthrough. That's one I should fire up.
Are these what I think they are?
Artificial wombs. Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
Like I said, we're getting deep into the lore here. You totally get lost and keep grinding for fun. I think that's probably what I did. Or I wasn't effective at playing the game and just felt I needed to overlevel, kind of like how I'm doing Dark Souls. 100% play Final Fantasy 1. Whoa.
The crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist.
Every one of these guys thinks their subcomponent is the thing.
In charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges...
I wrote the book and I care about it very much.
Staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors, to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
Yeah, so, these chambers here. Maybe I should read one of these. Development of artificial personae for cradle servitors, nurturer, disciplinarian, healer continues at a good pace. We're targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. Stimulus-driven switching of personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entrenched feedback loops between disciplinarian and healer persona. I'm just imagining the different AI personas being, you know, going from healer to disciplinarian. Like, you know, you've been bad, you know, slap you on the wrist with a ruler, and then immediately being, oh, you've hurt yourself, here, have a band-aid. You know, and then back and forth, back and forth. Also attached to reports an incident where a servitor running the mother persona intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. Okay. Oh.
I'd have to ditch something.
And more text. Ah! Okay, how get up? Oh, stairs, probably. Here? Over here.
Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
Yeah.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
Seems likely.
One way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
Oh, here's a sound bit.
That would benefit from antilopinate morphologies, though caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
I'm not entirely sure that Gaia having emotions would be a good thing, but
Some component got removed. You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you.
well, I mean, that was the whole point. I suppose if you're gonna have, you know, second thoughts about it, good Better for them to be at the end of the endeavor. Odyssey has failed? What's this? It's terrible news, I'm afraid. Far Zenith has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drive spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo were all lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for continuation of the human species and earthly life. We must succeed. So, they did try to launch a ship. A seeding ship, as it were. Oops. Like, great. Yeah, right there.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who?
Yeah, Aloy, have you not figured that part out yet?
Know who waiting for you there, Aloy? Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Eclipse.
Friendlies.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're
Lord
too
up.
valuable.
Hey, Slayerwell. Welcome in. Yeah, this is the big story night.
Boy, you're now second best in the family.
Well, as humans like to say, third time's the charm, right?
Still alive.
Ridiculous headgear continues.
Snake?
Snake!
The boot. It's like, yeah, two things, couple of things I remember from this game. All the writing, you know, the lore of it. Not necessarily the specifics, but and also all the ridiculous headgear.
Destined for glory as a great champion of the sun. Even when Jiran was murdered, even when Meridian fell, I never doubted my destiny. Until you came along. When I heard that you had survived, a doubt took root in my mind. As sure as the sun rises and falls each day, those I am bade to kill die. And yet I failed. How? Why? With each dig site you attacked, each loyal soldier you killed, this pestering doubt grew. I kept thinking of the moment my knife pierced your throat. One twist, a simple tug of the blade, and you would have bled out. In slaughter, I am a practiced hand. So why hesitate?
You wanted to be all theatrical about it and wasted your chance.
If you're gonna go on babbling like this all night, could you just kill me now?
Oh no, we're in no hurry, you and I. Not now.
Maybe some physical torture to destroy
Monologuing.
At that moment on the mountain, I aimed to kill you with dispatch, and yet did not. Why? This failing troubled my thoughts, haunted every step. It was only when I captured you, down in that place, that I finally glimpsed the sun's design
etched at length across the course of events. You were meant to survive that day on the mountain. Meant to interfere at dig sites and kill my men. Conversely, I was meant to capture you. Here. So that you might die as a sacrificial offering to the sun. Everything as it was meant to be. Predestined.
Yeah, that stuff's always really easy to say after the fact, isn't it? Fool, puppet, fool, puppet, fool, puppet, puppet, puppet.
Some destiny. You're following orders, not some grand cosmic design. You're a puppet, with Hades yanking the strings. A pawn pushed around by larger forces. It'd be laughable if there weren't so much killing involved. Hades is an ancient machine, not the buried shadow of Karja myth. It doesn't care about Meridian. It wants to kill everything and everyone. And you are its dutiful slave.
I serve not the buried shadow, but the sun in shadow. All halves of nature joined to one cause. Shadow to sun, dark to light.
Do you really not hear how ridiculous that sounds? You've gone from serving an insane homicidal Sun King to an insane homicidal machine. You're moving down in the world, not up.
I'll remember those words as I watch your corpse burn. Whatever's left of it. You fail to grasp the point. As surely as you've been conquered, so has all doubt. And with certainty of belief comes unstoppable force.
Then get this cage and put your faith to the test. See if things work out like you expect.
The circle has closed. Every element is in its proper place, exactly where it belongs. The errant beast, now caged, will serve her true purpose. A sacrificial animal.
Well, get on with it.
Speaking of sacrifice, I forgot to tell you. After you crashed the Eclipse network, I sent messengers into the east to rally the forces there and mount an invasion of the sacred land. I ordered every Nora killed. I was hoping to catch you there, but alas, it all seems to have been unnecessary.
The Nora cast me out at birth. You're not hurting me if you hurt them.
Yeah, it's actually not a lie.
Difference one way or another. In any case, I
He cares, but
thanks
oops,
to your destruction of
didn't mean to press that.
Communication over distances is impossible. You not only doomed yourself, but an entire tribe. Do we not see the scorching judgment of the sun in these events?
Well, the Nora weren't actually using
Your focus.
focuses, so there wouldn't have been any way to
Powerful
communicate.
device, isn't it? And yet, so fragile. So you see, this time, I did not hesitate.
I'm still drawing breath.
The knife
Oh.
has already been twisted.
Okay. I do dimly remember this part.
Karja faithful, rejoice! Our years in shadow are over. A new dawn trembles on the horizon. A new day soon to break. And when it does, the false Sun King will be dead, and Holy Meridian ours once more. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy. All halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, light to dark, night to day. Behold! Hold your seats!
Why are the corruptors
Proof of the sun's
blue?
blessing before your eyes? How else could shadows such as these prowl in broad light of day? Were they not approved by the sun and joined to our cause? Many years ago, to consecrate this great ring, the Radiant Duran ordered many faithless, crushed beneath the hooves of the behemoth. Mighty is the behemoth in the eye of the sun, but it is mightier still, infused with the power of shadow. Let this one, who schemed and slithered, be the first to die. Let her be the first of thousands!
Ouch. Yeah, so what's my health at right now?
I'll never beat that thing without weapons. My weapons are up on the platform. There's no way out of this ring. Maybe I can use the strength against it.
Oops. Okay, there's... Whoa!
That did it. One more pillar and that platform will come down.
Right, knock down the pillars.
It's down. Hey! Guess who got her weapons back? Now you're just a big dumb target. Come and get it!
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Ah, blocked.
Those components on the sides of its head. They've got something to do with its lift attacks.
Whoa! Bones on the side of the head, right.
That canister on its belly. Looks important.
Right, that's right, I don't have the focus, so... He still has...
Freeze canister on its head.
Whoa! Whoa, that was bad. Okay. Damn. He's not giving me... Stay strong. That's the more or less the idea. Where's the... Whoa! Oh shoot, shoot. Alright. I need to change my stuff. Oh wait, I do have a freeze arrow. There we go. There we go. I'm not done looting the stadium.
Silence!
All according to the plan. Just like you said.
Shadows. Kill her.
I'm not a fan of corruptors.
Kill her!
Why leave it to them? Come get me yourself!
I didn't remember Sylens also having the ability to take over machines. I knew he said he could take over focuses. Stay put, yeah.
So you're here. Really here. You risked your life.
Of course I did. If you'd been killed, the Nora's sacred mountain would never have given up its secrets.
Too bad you wasted your time then. Helis destroyed my focus. And the Alpha Registry with it.
Not at all. The whole time I've been monitoring your focus, I duplicated every data file you scanned. Installing that data to a new focus was trivially easy. Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
You're really good at making it impossible to like you, Sylens. But I guess I need this.
It's time to see where you were born. Maybe you'll even learn why.
Yeah. Meet the machine that birthed me into this world. Isn't that how you put it?
I'll be off.
Something like that.
Wait.
Yes?
How'd you find me? You can override machine. Helis recognized you. Well, that's the big thing right at the moment.
Helis recognized you back in the Sun Ring. You told me that you'd assisted the Eclipse. Not that you knew the man who killed my... who almost killed me.
So now you know. The man is a serious threat. So let's do all we can to make sure that he and Hades don't succeed.
Right.
Not much of an explanation. Of course, Sylens really isn't much for
Since
explaining
when can you
anything.
override machines?
Ever since you discovered the technique. I had to destroy a corruptor to obtain the necessary parts, of course. But your example showed me how to do that as well. Yet another benefit of monitoring your activities through your focus. Truth be told, the underlying logic of the technique isn't so different from rites practiced by Banuk shamans. Though, of course, far more advanced.
Great. You're welcome, I guess.
Great Sylens like me. I'm not a fan of him. He's so coldly, I don't want to say intellectual about everything. It's not intellectual. Knowledge is his big thing. He's only in it for learning things. And he's incapable of, I would say, being able to understand or appreciate people or having to deal with people. He doesn't even, it's pretty clear he doesn't even like people, dealing with people. They're an inconvenience. Knowledge points to Lim.
How did you track my location when I wasn't wearing a focus?
Really, Aloy. It doesn't take a genius to surmise that Helis would throw you into the Sun Ring at high noon. I wore out 2 Striders getting here in time.
Not to mention he was probably monitoring their focuses too. But anyway.
I'll be on my way. To make matters worse, Helis ordered an Eclipse detachment to attack the Nora Sacred Land. The tribe's already weak. They won't stand a chance. You should come with me.
Oh, absolutely.
Sounds like, nah.
I have preparations to make elsewhere.
What kind of... Why do I bother asking? You're not going to tell me.
When the time is right, I'll be in touch. I'll contact you later. In the meantime, should you need to return to Shadow Carja territory, I brought armor to conceal your identity.
You think of everything, don't you?
Armor to conceal?
Aloy.
The constant condescension is also unwelcome.
Down in the Zero Dawn bunker, I was needlessly cruel. For your sake, I hope there is someone waiting there for you inside the mountain. Not a want, but a who.
That, I think, is probably the actual kindest thing he probably ever says in the entirety of the game. Hope you get to kill the guy in the second game. Yeah, I don't know. I played like the first hour or so of the second game, but didn't really get far in it. He was definitely there, though. And Aloy was none too happy with him. Heart of the Nora, yeah. Oh, damn, I've got skill points. What do I want to do? Concentration. Faster reload with concentration would be good. Don't really need resources anymore. Resource inventory slots by 20%. I suppose. I really don't do a whole lot with the mounts, honestly, though. Oh, well, here's, anything that increases my... Silent drop. And crouching. Yeah, probably. This is stealth stuff. It's probably good. Alright, so... all the way back at the beginning. Cannot travel... Oh. Can't travel. Hang on. Why not? Level 38, but... the icons on the map. Yeah, this is one thing that I'm not hugely fond of. Actually, as a matter of fact, before I criticize it, I forgot there is an option for this. Is you can turn off the filters of stuff that you don't need. Having said that, I do think there are too many campfires. Like, some of these are way too close to each other. Oh, there's one all the way back there that I haven't gone to. Can I go to this one? Oh, I need to not be on a mount, don't I? Alright, let's try this again. Okay, I can go to this one. Oh, I bet it wants me to go outside and approach Nora territory. so that I can see the destruction. I think. I'm not sure. How close can I get? Can I go here? I could, in theory. I go here. Nope, not there. Here. Here's as close as I can go. By the way, I found out OBS has a built-in equalizer or whatever. Oh, does it?
Trees on fire. The embrace.
Aha. And this is why...
The Sentinels had time to warn the tribe.
Get me up there so I can stab it. Oh shoot, watch her. Did that not remove his gun? Oh shoot, I thought he was going into a strikeable state there. Damn. All right. Shit never made any sense. You can kill him with arrows. Maybe they're not purely metal. Maybe they've got like you know, certain
Forget about traveling.
you know, polycarbonate areas or plastic areas you're hitting. Oops. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, that's one of the... Okay, that's one of those guys. All right. Shoot, it's gonna have me... Shoot. What? Yep, I'm kind of hurting. Is there a river or something over here? Yes. Give me a moment for heals. I play the OG Civ games, I assume? I have not, actually. Oh, okay, fine. Oh, that's right. I think these guns are actually weak to damage. Spearmen killed your tank, did they? I haven't played the original Civ, but I have played, like, you know, Civ, what, 4 and 5, or 5 and 6, whatever the two current ones are. So I can appreciate that. There actually is, in the recent Civ, there is like a Steam achievement for one of the civilizations. Aloy, get out of the water. Oh shit. Oh, talk about sitting duck. Okay. Let me go this way. There is an achievement, I think it's for Gaul, where That's actually one of the goals, is to kill a modern unit with one of your ancient units. It seems to be doing overall damage to him, not... Body is weak to fire. Well, I suppose I could always do that. It's a meme of the early civs. No matter what the units were, there would be an extremely small chance a shitty unit could kill any other. Yeah. Okay, you actually can blow those up. Oh, okay, I thought I was out of line of sight. Oh yeah, these things, those weak points. He was just warming up to do a lot of really bad things to me. Alright. Who's your main in Civ, and why is it not the greatest ancient Civ of all time? America with George Washington. You know, I like to play... You know, I don't really have necessarily a favorite Civ itself. I do always make sure, however, that...
For years,
in the recent version of Civ, that Georgia is always in play. Either that I'm playing as Georgia or it's one of the other Civs. Mainly because I like having their music in rotation. You know, in the soundtrack rotation. That's literally the only reason. You know? Oh. Hang on.
Here we go.
Yeah. Whoa. Smack him. Main Cyrus of Persia in Civ 4. Oh yeah, he's in Civ 5 as well, I believe. I'm really running low on
Got too much already.
healing. Buddy of mine from college was talking shit once. We played Civ 4. Immortal rushed his ass so hard. A lot of times, I also like to have Alexander the Great in as well. Not because I like him. He's really a gigantic asshole. But I do think it's funny how he's always trying to... He's always on attack, you know? He's always trying to... He's very cheerful, like, hey, buddy, hey, oh yeah, don't mind that I'm attacking you. Oh, shoot. Didn't realize this guy was here. This is gonna blast him. Run up on me. Yep. Oh, he's gonna... Chaps, man. Gotta love him.
A gift from the
Yeah, not so much.
Still sniffing around.
I need to get rid of the sawtooth. Totally based with Civ. I went through a huge civilization phase a year or two ago. Whoa, 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 whoa. You got a lot closer than I thought you would. Whoa. Problem with Civ for me is it's not a fast game. You know, it's a game you play over the course of a week. And I would like to get more health. Or a new motherboard. Uh-oh. Slayer, I thought you already had a new motherboard. Or was it not? I think you said something about having to get a new case. You could play Civ by email. The ultimate long-term turn-based game. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shoot. This guy's still got stuff that I don't want him to have. Okay, bad things. 2 of them specifically. Disengaging already. Must be at the outside of their range. Oh, yep. Maybe ignore the people in favor of the machines hurling giant rocks at you. It doesn't support the memory. Oh. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay, and now I'm out of ammo. Set some people on fire. Oh, that's... Oh, shoot, that's a weak point on its head, isn't it? Yep. Okay. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Oh, shoot, I thought I was clear. Damn it. Oh, there's the weak point thing. I do not remember it being this much of a fight just to get back to... How did those arrows go through his body? Okay, that one clearly missed.
Haven't you got anything better to do?
Whoa! Somebody's got a gun. Oh, those aren't gun, it's just incendiary arrows. There's still somebody around here. Farther up, maybe. Suppose there's any health potions around here.
No space.
No space. His health. Little tiny bit. Ooh. Okay, there's still a cultist up there. I do not see... whatever the sound was making the sound. Oh, I guess that was maybe it up there. Okay, no, it's... whatever is making that noise is still there. How does no one know how to say Jeff?
I'd have to ditch something.
Did you get a... Goff? Or a Geoff? Or a Geoff? You know what actually messed me up for a long time when I was a kid? The Sound of Music, his name was Georg, or pronounced Georg and not George. That confused me when I was a kid. And then it's like, oh, that's... a corrupted Thunderjaw. Shit. Okay.
More Eclipse.
With not much in the way of heals.
Right. The survivors must be holed up in the mountain. If the tunnel collapses, they'll be buried. And I'll never reach the hatch.
Well, looks like I'm going to be ripping a lot of equipment off of this guy. And
Bring down the mountain.
I am out of Ridgewood.
They saw me. This is it.
Oh. A cinematic?
Braves, to Aloy's side, now!
Heroically sent by email.
Sona. They're still alive.
Oh, okay.
Bring down the demon!
Okay. I think I got one of the disc launchers off. Yep, I did. Yep. Whoa. Not to fear, though. There's still this. Hey guys, you took out your Thunderjaw. Maybe you'd consider a retreat. But they would not retreat. Hey you're surrounded. Want to retreat? No, too late.
You will not escape me!
You're ever down to do 2 or 3 turns a week? Whoa. Oh, there's still a guy. Oh, there was still a guy.
We did it. Aloy did it. We only helped.
Never know when I might need these.
Yeah, just casual talk after, you know, this whole Thunderjaw fight. And apparently I need Ridgewood because I've been crafting way too many arrows. Honestly, Jeff, I'm sure you would kick my ass at Civ. I haven't actually played multiplayer of it. I tend to turtle up my civs a bit. Especially, like I mentioned, playing against Alexander. Build up my walls, build up, you know, camps. Turtle my units inside, so when they attack, they just break upon me, and I can safely attack them from the walls. You know, every now and then I'll go out and try to take over, you know, some of them. How are we gonna know if we don't play by email over the course of 2 to 5 years?
You saved the tribe. Did what no brave or war chief could do.
That's a level of commitment.
All right, Varl. You are all right.
Since the proving. So much death. Is the killing over?
For now, but this was just one battle, Varl. There are more to come.
I see. So long as we have you to fight with us, I suppose we'll make do.
How many
let's see.
survived the attack?
Nearly all the matriarchs, and many families, goddess be praised. But braves...
Of course, the matriarchs hidden the mountain.
Wounded. Never before has an enemy stabbed the heart of our people like this. Even the Karja, in all their red raids, never broke through to the Embrace.
Well, this enemy may have broken through, but they never got back out. We made sure of that. Tell me about the attack. What happened?
They struck from the east. Our sentinels saw the killers coming. Said that beside them marched Deathbringers and Corruptors and other machines, driven mad. We took ground, met them with clouds of arrows. Some fell, but they kept coming. Finally, we withdrew to the gates of the Embrace to make our stand. But they were too much for us. Those who survived fell back to the mountain.
Yep.
So the survivors took shelter in the mountain? By law, only matriarchs are allowed inside.
Oh, desperate times.
Broke the taboo. Ordered the tribe into the mountain for safety. Lansra, well, she didn't agree. But I don't think anyone heard her over all the screams and shouting.
Tyrsa's decisions saved lives. Good for her. Common sense isn't always so common around here. Are your injuries serious?
Bruises pale. Bones heal.
Don't give me a hunting song, Varl. Are you okay?
My body aches. But it's nothing that will keep me from fighting.
I need
You'll
to go
talk later
inside the
then.
mountain.
The matriarchs will be eager to see you.
I'm sure. But I didn't come here for them.
Then, what for?
You will see.
Very, very long story. So I think we're gonna do the All Mother thing, I think, and then I think that'll be a good time to shut it.
Aloy,
Although I forget how long this part is, but
you've returned.
Teb?
Teb? Oh. Is Teb here? Hang on.
Aloy,
I'll talk to him. Oh yeah, there he
you've
is.
come back.
The Seeker has returned.
Glad to see you.
Come,
Your injuries.
speak to us.
Are they serious?
Foolish woman.
Ah.
You welcome a curse.
I went too far and got
Seeker,
too.
we have
Nothing I
much to
couldn't sew back
discuss.
together with a needle and
Her
thread.
very presence here is a blasphemy.
Guess being a Stitcher came in handy in combat after all, huh?
Okay, he's all right. He just a little banged up. Too far and got two conversations started
So,
once.
you have finally returned. She not only returned, but fought her way through many enemies to reach us. Outside, she brought low a corrupted Thunderjaw. She lifted the siege. How was this done? By the will of All Mother. Have you returned to speak with the goddess, Aloy?
It'll take too long to disagree.
Yes,
but
I guess you could say that. I think it'll work this time.
Sisters, surely we cannot permit this. Because of her, our tribe teeters upon extinction. What if she has come to wake her father, the Metal Devil? She means to finish our destruction. We must stop her.
Let go of your fear. Oh, the loving thing. Ignore them. Do I be smart or brute? Smart. I'll be smart. Just ignore them.
She is a curse made flesh. She will be the end.
Excuse me.
Aloy!
Talk
I
amongst
have-
yourselves.
I have business to attend to.
Error. Alpha registry corrupted. Correction. Alpha registry restored. Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are cleared to proceed.
Welcome to Aluthia Cradle 9, Group 1.
You know what? I think I'm actually going to end right there. It's pretty much about time I would want to end. And I suspect this is going to be another big lore hunt. So, and given how it took like 2 hours on the previous lore hunt, I feel it's like, maybe save it for next time. Let me put up end. Where's my end? There it is. Put this up while I close things down. Yeah. I'm Blair. staying away from you guys for the moment. Okay, they are talking. This game is no talk shit and no. I pressed a bad button somewhere, apparently. Can we not do this in Zelda's bedroom, please? Can we take this outside somewhere? Alright, let's see what's going on Twitch. I'm gonna get... well, no. I'm gonna try to get you. But probably... let's see... fail. Shinobi is in Guild Wars. He's probably signing off soon, though. There's also Slayer Val is running. Let's take a look and see. Annoy him to death with the bell. I actually thought that might work. Settle down. All we did was steal a truck. Too much speech. We are people. Let's see.
We are alive. We are free.
All we did was steal a truck. All right. I'm going to send you guys over to Shinobi, I think. He'll probably end soon, but hey, you know, Guild Wars people. So. Much as I massively misspell his name. So anyone here who doesn't know, first message if you're subscribed, you know, copy paste. Second message if you're unsubscribed, copy paste, and we shall raid into Shinobi. He's currently playing Guild Wars. I'm not exactly sure where he is. Is he? I think he might be in Draknar's. Hey, bathroom baby. Actually. Can I come in here and hide with you? Anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll be back Saturday for Dark Souls. Saturday Dark Souls, Sunday. There's a chance it'll be Guild Wars, but I'm actually eyeballing a short and sweet horror game that I might be able to do a one-shot of on Sunday, so we'll take a look. Anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out, and I will see you guys later.